We are ready for the cable section of our cowl, which is the center portion. Here's the seed stitch up above here. And we are going to begin with our setup row, which is when we will place our stitch markers. As I said in the introduction lesson, stitch markers can be bought at Joann's, they can be bought at Hobby Lobby. You can use safety pins, you can use small paper clips. So I have a variety of different ones to show you that we'll be using for this, and you will need 17. You're going to start your row with 3 knitted stitches. One, 2, and 3, and we're going to put a stitch marker, which, because these are like your border, your edging stitches. The next part, we are going to start into our cable. You are going to knit 2 stitches. Then we're going to use our cable hook. Cables look like they're a lot more difficult than they really are. A cable is just simply removing some stitches and reversing the order so that they crisscross. So you're going to use this cable stitch or cable hook. You're going to remove 3 stitches on the left needle, and you're just going to let it hang in the front. You could hang it in the front or in the back. All this determines, by putting it in the front or the back, determines which direction the cables cross. So they could cross this direction or this direction. In our case, we're going to put 3 of them in the front. Then you're going to knit the next 3 stitches. One, 2, and 3. You're going to take your cable hook again, and you're going to transfer those stitches right back on to your left needle, and you are going to pick up your thread and knit those 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to knit 2 stitches. These are the edges of your cable. 1 and 2. And then we're putting a border between the sets of cables, so that's where you're going to use a stitch marker here. Knit 2 stitches. 1, 2. Put another stitch marker. These little border stitches are going to be in stockinette, whereas you're going to knit the next 2 stitches, which are going to be in garter stitch. That's why they're separated. They are in garter, and now we're getting ready for your cable again. The cable is going to be in a stockinette stitch. So you're going to pick up those 3 stitches with your cable hook. 2 and 3. Move it into the front. Knit the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. You're going to slide these stitches right back onto the left needle. Knit those 3 stitches. 1, oops, got an extra thread there. 2, 3. Knit your 2 extra garter stitches to the sides of the cable. Put a stitch marker in. Knit 2 stitches. 1, 2, Another stitch marker. There's your 2 garter stitches again. 1 and 2. We'll do the cable one more time. Pick up your 3 stitches here. 1, 2, 3. Put those stitches in the front. Knit the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Put these stitches back onto the left needle. Knit those 3 stitches. Knit your 2 garter stitches. Place your stitch marker, and you're going to continue in this pattern until you get to the end, and you should have 3 stitches at the very end which you will knit. So we'll go across that row, and then I'll show you what to do for row number 2. You will be doing this pattern for row 1, row 9, and row 17. Alright, we have finished the setup row and the first groups of cables, and you can see all of our stitch markers on. This is the right side. So we're now going to turn it to the wrong side, and all of the wrong side of our cable section, so it would be all of the even numbered rows, are going to be knit in the same fashion. So you're going to start with purling 3, because these first 3 stitches will be in stockinette. So you're going to purl 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. When you come to a stitch marker, you just slip it from one needle to the next, and then you go on. The next 2 stitches will be knit because they are going to be in garter. 1 and 2. We are now at our cable section, and that is going to be in stockinette, so you're going to knit purl 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then you're going to knit the last 2 stitches because they will be in garter. 1, 2. I'm going to slip the stitch marker over to this needle. You're at one of the border stitches here. This is going to be stockinette, so you're going to knit or purl 2. 1 and 2. We're going to slip the marker to the right needle. We're going to knit 2. We're again at the cable itself, so that's going to be purling 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You slip the yarn to the back. You're going to knit these 2 stitches because they're in garter. 1, 2. You're going to transfer your stitch marker to the right. And you're going to continue on in this pattern. You can refer to the pattern, the written pattern for this, but you will be continuing in the pattern I described till you get to the very end, and it will be purling the last 3 stitches. So go ahead and finish this row, and then we'll come back and show you what to do on a row that does not have the cable where it crisscrosses, on a regular odd numbered row. Alright, we are now getting ready to do the rows that are odd numbered with the exception of rows 1, 9, and 17. So you can see we've completed row 1 and 2, and you can see the beginnings of the crisscross pattern showing with the cable. And here's our beginning of our stockinette stitch. It will show up more, it's hard to see it right now, but it will show up more as the pattern is more established. But on the odd rows, what you're going to be doing, you are going to knit the first 3 stitches, slip the stitch, and you will actually be knitting all the way across. These rows are very simple. You're just going to be flipping the stitch markers as you go, but it will be knit all the way across. So the odd stitches, or the odd rows, are very easy other than rows 1, 9, and 17. When you get to your pattern, when you get up to row 18, what you will do is remove the stitch markers as you go back across on row 18. And then it is just, you will be coming down the home stretch. You will be through the middle section of the cowl, and then these 4 sections, the seed stitch, the yarn over, the stockinette, and the garter, will be in reverse on the other side of the cowl. So we only have one more lesson to go, and that will be the bind off and sewing the seam together to finish our cowl.